Watch an exclusive interview, a global exclusive with the Russian President Vladimir Putin tonight on India Today at 9 p.m. So in a global first, India Today brings you the biggest exclusive of 2025. Russian President Vladimir Putin, India's all-weather dost, a global power figure who has stood by New Delhi through thick and thin, speaks to an Indian network for the very first time. Ahead of his India visit, President Putin sits down for a candid, forthright, no-holds-barred interview. Unfiltered, unrestrained, uncensored, 100-minute chat. From the Ukraine war to Trump's threats, nothing is off the table in this global super exclusive. This mega agenda-setting interview is already creating global waves. The world is watching closely because Vladimir Putin has chosen India's most viewed network, India Today. Vladimir Putin like never before. The unmissable interview tonight at 9 p.m.
You met Prime Minister Narendra Modi in SCO, and there was this picture and video of you and him going in a car, and we're showing it to our viewers right now. You were traveling in a car with him. What did you discuss in the car?
The biggest global exclusive interview. First time on world television, Russian President Vladimir Putin speaks his mind. A man of few words, Putin opens up only and only on India Today. The entire interview will be aired tonight at 9 p.m. But we will right now give you small excerpts of Russian President Putin's interview on his dosti with Prime Minister Modi and his car ride with his dost Modi. Russian President Vladimir Putin spoke on his great friend Prime Minister Narendra Modi and diplomacy with India. Putin said that he's happy to meet his friend Modi in India. Stating the special relationship with India, Putin said that the relationship with India is strong and unique. Putin also opened up about the recently concluded SCO summit where Prime Minister Modi and Putin were seen traveling together in Putin's car. Putin said that it was him who wanted a car ride with Prime Minister Modi and suggested it. Putin also said that car ride with Prime Minister Modi was a symbol of dosti between the two leaders. Listen into the excerpts from the world exclusive interview on India Today with Geeta, Mohan and Anjana Kashyap.
Dear viewers, hello and a very warm welcome. You're watching Aaj Tak India Today, and I'm Anjana Kashyap, and we're at Kremlin today, and you're about to witness history, a very historic moment. It is said that when two old friends meet, they have their private jokes. They have a lot of banter, they have a lot of fun, and they have a bonhomie or camaraderie. But the others in the room might feel a little uncomfortable. And why do I say this? I say this because as the President of the Russian Federation, Vladimir Putin, meets Prime Minister Narendra Modi in New Delhi, the world will be watching very, very closely. Vladimir Putin is undoubtedly one of the most influential politicians of the world whose decisions don't just affect Russia, but numerous nations across the world. He's a very compelling and enigmatic figure on the world stage. It just doesn't get more exciting than this.
Well, that's right, Anjana. Hello and welcome. I'm Geeta Mohan. We have with us a man who is known to be one of the world's longest-serving leaders. He's seen it all, through wars and economic recessions, from disintegration of countries to a changed world order, from Boris Yeltsin to Donald Trump, from Atal Bihari Vajpayee to Manmohan Singh to Narendra Modi. He's seen the world change right in front of him, and he's taken Russia through very turbulent times and yet has cemented his position as a force to reckon with. Thank you so much, President, for doing this with us. You're in conversation with India Today and Aaj Tak. That's the President of the Russian Federation for you.
Thank you so much, sir, for joining us on our network. How are you doing?
Надеюсь, что и вам у нас в России
Well, I
хорошо.
do hope that
Надеюсь,
you
что вам
find it
понравится
great
сейчас
in
с вами работать.
Russia and Moscow. You like Moscow and the Kremlin, where we're working.
По плану
Well, as you can see, everything is according to plan. On the whole, we're happy with the economic situation. And what's most important,
предстоит встреча.
this month, I'm very happy that I'm going to meet, as you have just pointed out, my friend, Prime Minister Narendra Modi. We agreed to meet in India a long time ago. There's a lot to talk about because the range of our cooperation with India is very huge. I'm not even talking about history of our relations because this history is of a unique nature.
Хотел бы сказать, что
And I would also like to point out
прошла
that the path
Индия
that India
завоевания
has traveled since gaining its independence just over the 77 years, which is a very short
проделала
span
колоссальный путь.
in the scale of history, and India has managed to travel
Когда
a
мы живем
great way.
текущей
And I'm going
жизни,
to dwell on that a
мы
little
очень
bit later. But,
замечаем
you know, when we live our
изменения
daily lives, we hardly notice the changes that are currently afoot.
А если посмотреть
It rarely happens
чуть-чуть
when
назад,
we notice
то,
these changes. But if
то,
we have a look
произошло в Индии,
back at the history, we'll see that what transpired in India is, to a large extent, a miracle.
мало, наверное, у вас-то кто знает, что
Well, I don't think there are many people living in India who know that the longevity, the life expectancy in India over the 77 years has
We will
more than
talk about
doubled.
longevity in some time from now.
Да, хорошо, поговорим обязательно. Но во всяком
Certainly
случае,
going to talk about that.
наши отношения
But
с
be
Индией
that as it may,
развиваются по
our
очень
relations
многим
with
направлениям.
India are developing
очень рад
across different ranges, different avenues. I'm very happy to have this chance to meet Prime Minister Modi,
Связывают не только деловые, но и
and not just business ties, but also personal ties.
You can watch this entire interview where we speak about many issues. The whole interview, world exclusive, tonight at 9 p.m.
Very interesting question, because when you met Prime Minister Narendra Modi in SCO, and there was this picture and video of you and him going in a car, and we're showing it to our viewers right now. You were traveling in a car with him. Was it pre-planned, or how did it go about? How did it happen? And what did you discuss in the car?
Вы знаете, обсуждали текущие вопросы.
We
Это
were talking
не
about
было
just the current
запланировано.
agenda. It was not pre-planned.
Вышли на улицу, подошли
We
к моей машине,
just
говорю, «Слушай, поехали».
went outside into the street, and my car was there, and I suggested that we should get together, just, you know, as a sign of friendship, for comradeship. There's nothing, you know,
Сели вместе,
no
друзья, и
complicated orchestration, just as friends. We got together in one car and we spoke. Along the road, there was always something to talk about. And, you know, we had a conversation. We even sat in the car for quite some time. And then I said, yes, we should go because they're waiting for us. But there's nothing special about that. It just testifies to the fact that there's a lot we have to talk about. And these topics are of importance to us.
Right, President Sir. The fact that you're going to go to India, you just said that both leaders are going to cement the guarantees that you give each other. What are the kind of announcements that we can expect? We've heard about technology transfer, we've heard about trade enhancement. What are the solid announcements during this visit? And I ask you this is because the world, and you know who I mean, would be watching.
Ну, то, что мир будет следить за
Well, the
нашим
world
развитием, здесь
is going to be watching. I don't think there's anything special about that.
страна,
Because, you
500
know, India is a great country, 1.5 billion people. It's a developing economy where the rate of growth is 7.7%. This is the first result in the world. Prime Minister Modi has managed to achieve that, and this is a lot the Indian nation can take pride in. There's a lot to be proud of. Of course, there are always detractors, critics who believe that this can be done better, but that said, the result is evident. We've got a whole plan for cooperation which covers the most important spheres and fields. The most important ones are certainly oriented towards the future, and one of them is high technology. India and Russia are working together in outer space exploration, in energy, nuclear energy in particular, which is well known because, you know, one of the leaders in that field, also shipbuilding, aircraft building. We have very many interesting directions which are oriented towards the future. Or let's take artificial intelligence. We'll probably talk about that later. But this is one of the key technologies of the future which is reshaping the world as we speak, because it manages to multiply things many-fold, but at the same time it creates certain challenges to be addressed, and we'll talk about all of that. And as Prime Minister Modi thinks and what I think, well, we'll choose what is of the greatest significance at this stage, and we'll help with that.
Agreement, sir?
Well, of course, but we should probably not announce them right now because, you know, all of that is going to be announced in the course of the visit. We will present that to the public. And then the colleagues will present all of these agreements to us, and we'll have to give our final approval to these agreements.
What made you really look at that as a strategic interest to recognize the Taliban at a time when the world is still saying they have not given equal rights to women?